Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Witch Hat Atelier, episode 12, the penultimate one, oddly and thankfully. We still have the 13th one to watch in the near future, because I'm recording this one pretty dang late. Sorry for that, by the way. I was really busy with a project and didn't really have the time during the day, and during the night I was kind of too tired to record, so I didn't want myself just falling asleep in front of the camera, because that would not make for the best video now, would it? Regardless, what happened in the previous episode? Let's start with that. Well, quite a few things happened, actually. First, we had a little bit of a talk about Coco's strengths and weaknesses, right? It turns out, or it was discovered, that Coco's main strength are straight lines, right? She was working as a seamstress help, I guess would be the best term to use here, and so she was used to doing a lot of straight lines, to cut the patterns, cut the fabric, and so on and so forth. And so, since she's already doing well with the straight lines, they're going to focus on drawing curved lines and circles and squiggles and anything that isn't straight. Which is a good plan, for sure, because she doesn't really need to learn how to do straights. She already can do them pretty dang well. We had a communication from the witch, not coven, the witch stronghold kind of place, that Agot will be able to take the next test, which is good news. And Qifrey also, I think that's how it went, right? He also wanted to convince Riche to take that test. I'm gonna be honest, I don't fully recall how it transpired, but basically Riche said, no, I wanna do what I wanna do. I don't wanna know exams, I don't wanna know learning. I want to do the magic that I want to do, and that's that. And she stormed off. Coco found her later in some sort of a pocket dimension inside of a ceramic pot, in which Riche hid with brush by, kind of like a villain pose, a little bit rotated on her chair. And Coco really liked the magic that Riche did, which is some sort of plastic or elastic, glass, or whatever the material was, ribbons. And was it then, or was that was a bit later? But basically, we also learned a little bit about Riche's backstory. We know that her brother went off to probably some sort of an atelier to learn magic and left her behind, and it doesn't seem like anybody talked to Riche about it. It was kind of a situation where he just went away. They didn't really discuss it. Hey, your brother's gonna be going to school soon, don't panic. And that event kind of traumatized Riche in a way. And the last words from her brother were basically that I love your magic, the way you do it, don't ever change it, always have your magic be yours, etc., etc., which she seems to have internalized to the point where she is pretty damn dead set on using only her magic. Only the magic that she figures out, only the magic that she thinks of, and nothing that was written in the book. She doesn't want to use anybody else's spells except hers. Which I wonder how well it's gonna go. If I were a betting man, I would say not very, because every character has to go through some growth, right? And that would probably be a good moment of growth for Riche, where she learns that, hey, perhaps the spells that people have perfected over the last 300 years might actually be pretty fucking useful. And it seems to me that this might be the moment, because we are in the trials. We arrive to a location where the test is going to be taken. Some other witch also dropped off his apprentice, kind of a shy, uncertain boy with a hentai protagonist haircut, with his hair completely obscured, with his eyes completely obscured by his hair. And it turns out that Qifrey kind of roped Riche into taking the test as well. So it's not only Agot and the hentai protagonist that are gonna be taking part in the test, it's also going to be Riche. And the test is basically you wear a cloak that makes you look like a penguin, and you get a penguin and you have to safely transport that penguin to the other end of a tunnel that's been created by forbidden magic, and thus there are all sorts of weird shit going on inside of that tunnel, like paths going up and down and all around, and probably other dangers in there as well. Richa begrudgingly agreed, and so the three of them will be setting off. We also learned that pretty much every single test that witches have to take takes place in some sort of a place that was a site of significant forbidden magic use, right? Where forbidden magic was used to such a degree that it permanently altered the area. Which begs the question, what did the testing look like before forbidden magic even became like a, taxonomically became a thing, right? And also if there are any other goals, perhaps, in sending young witches to those places specifically, like maybe training them to withstand the onslaught of forbidden magic, training them to deal with it, to neutralize it, showing them the results of forbidden magic so that they don't ever want to cast it because it hurts the area and the poor penguins and stuff, right? There's probably something more going on if I were a betting man. And maybe we're gonna learn what? Probably not. And yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it about the previous episode. Qifrey, Tetya, and Coco are staying behind. I see the first frame of the episode is them grilling some sort of a fish over open fire, so they're having a little bit of a picnic. One, I guess, two more things. Olorugio created worm stones, or like, I can't remember their name, like cozy stones, something like that. It's a rock, you take it and you sleep better. That's basically the gist of it. I wonder if that's gonna come into play, because he made one for everyone. So maybe Richie is going to use it in some way, maybe to put the penguin to sleep so she doesn't have to chase after it. Just puts it in a bag and runs through the tunnel. I don't know, that'd certainly be a solution. And we also have to remember of the other Brim Hat, who is, as we all know, invisible and might be lurking around. Oh, and important to mention, Aleira is the proctor for the exam. Aleira is the witch that Qifrey met with when he was at the witch stronghold, right? The one that looks like Ragio, but tanner and with shorter hair. And they seem to go a way back. So that's also something interesting, an interesting character that we would probably want to spend a little bit more time with. But I guess that does it for the summary. And in today's episode, we're probably going to see them go through the labyrinth, through the tunnel, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe they're even going to finish it. I don't know. I really truly do wonder what's gonna be the grand finale. Um, Probably some sort of a scuffle with the invisible brim hat. That'd be my bet. But I don't know. I really don't know. Like, how are we getting from the point of taking a test? I mean, in many ways, right? The whole area has been created with forbidden magic, so it's basically brim hat home turf. It could very well be that the exam gets interrupted, and yeah, wouldn't be the first time in fiction, would it? Uh, but let's stop talking and start watching, shall we? To do that, you're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me, unless you don't want to bother and you want to watch picture-in-picture version. If so, it's gonna be on my Patreon shortly after this episode goes live, because Patreon takes its sweet time to process videos, usually longer than YouTube. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs nothing to do so, and it helps the channel a lot. And with that, we can start watching the penultimate episode of Witch Hat Atelier in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, whole nation? Damn. Orokin then? Hmm. I mean, actually makes sense, if I'm to be honest with you. Hmm. For gold? Hmm. Right. Pride comes before the fall and all that. I mean, in a word like this, yeah, for sure. I'm willing to bet the ones in power were very happy. Just not the, peasantry. Ooh, fire in his monocle. Hmm. Seems like Qifrey might not have the best, or rather the most like optimistic view on magic himself. 100% he went through some sort of magic accident, magic, I don't know, experiments or what have you. That's why there is something fucky wacky with his eye. That's why he's looking for the brim hats, because maybe only forbidden magic can fix it. That's a thought. And he knows firsthand that magic can do a lot of evil, a lot of bad stuff. Probably on both sides, because he's not buddy-buddy with the mainstream witches and the government either. He might be a former Knight Morales. Hmm. It feels like this season is going to pose a lot of questions and is not going to provide super many answers. And the. Oh! Gravity's fucky. Is the gravity going, like, exclusively to the outside? Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Could very well be. We know that seals can be inscribed underneath stones and it still works. Oh, you're repeating a grade? Okay. That's a water spell. Hmm. Okay. That's cool. I mean, it was objectively correct. Ah, okay. A lot of focus on the. Oh! Oh, was she tutored by the dude who's tutoring the hentai protagonist? Can't you carry them? There we go. Perch on her hand. Is to vocalize to them. I mean, what you are doing is also the right answer. So, I mean, if it works, it's the right answer. Like, implicitly. Okay, you will reach the end by doing the right things and giving the right answers. Yeah, exactly. As a side note, not the best test because good chunk of your success is dependent on who are you going to be taking the test with. Like, if he was taking the test alone, he would have failed again. Hmm. You probably can't really reliably jump either. Could you, like, put a rope or a translucent ribbon between one point and another and, like, drag yourself to the other part of the path? And off she's running on her own again. She's gonna get whisked away to another pocket dimension. You should have learned, Coco. You should have known by now. Rope spell. Or that. Sure. Yeah, rope, basically. Concrete rope. Yeah, makes sense. Seems like it's not gonna be Recheck getting character growth this episode. She's being just a little extra. Is it gonna crumble? Yeah, we gotta train being able to draw without looking. Mm, kinda. Yeah, I mean, again, simple rope to drag yourself. I mean, you clearly did. You did throw 2 spells, though. That's a big book. Also, the way you're holding your pen can't be making things easier. Oh, okay, he prepared. Gotcha. Okay, prepare a bunch of spells in the choir that create a fucking box around you. Hide in the box and draw spells. Yeah, he needs encouragement. Most of his issues are essentially only because of self doubt. He's been told that he can't do it so many times that he essentially started to believe it. Yeah, yeah, well, figure it out. Hide under the cloak completely. Hide in your hair. Sure, that works, I guess. There we go. Nice and hidden. Yeah, give him time. Well, they can see you. So, I guess being unseen doesn't help either. Yep. Yep. Is yourself. With no small part of help from your teacher, of course. But yeah, yourself. Oh, I was about to ask that, like, is there no point to this cloak being made of this specific material then? But I guess the mirror scales. Hold your fucking pen properly! It's gonna make things easier. I promise. Mervyn fucking fell asleep. No, just a brim hat. Oh, him. Okay, how's it supposed to help? Yeah, sure. I mean, that works. I love how they're drawing him, by the way. Wide eyes, wide mouth. Is he making a broom? Or just growing a branch? Oh, just growing a branch. Yeah, you found something of yours. You found your own spell. Your own way of doing things. Hmm. That whole theme started from learning that Coco's thing is straight lines, isn't it? Then we got to learn about Richa and her way of doing things, and now we went to his character growth. Okay, nice. Nice narrative continuity. Yup. Yep. Well, better hope Coco becomes better than you. Yeah. Right. Yeah, if you collect 10 of them, you get, I don't know, an ass whooping. Oh, here's the brim hat. It is kind of their turf. The solution. Well, now you're fucked. And the episode is finished. I say it every time, I'ma say it again. That episode went by real quick. It really did. So, the grand finale will be finding the way out of the labyrinth and preferably saving Alayra. I don't think they're gonna kill her off. If anything, maybe she's gonna be imprisoned, and second season is gonna start with an attempt to rescue her, something like that. By the by, out of sheer curiosity, do we already know, perchance, if season 2 is happening? Yeah, what the fuck is going on? Well, second season is not listed on any list yet. But maybe the final episode is going to bring an announcement. Hopefully. Episode 13, Forbidden Magic. 13, the unlucky one, right? Yeah, that fits perfectly, doesn't it? Okay, then. that was the episode. Let's watch it again. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Okay. Fish on a stick. The cave here was home to the prosperous cavern nation of Romonon. I initially thought that Romonon was like a person, like some grand mage perhaps, who had his place inside of this cave. I didn't think this cave is large enough for an entire civilization to live in. Right? That's a whole ass city. I did not think this cave is quite this big. I wonder if the ruins of the Romanon city have been found. Like, sure, yeah, it crumbled under the weight of the gold, or however the story goes, sure. But have there been any, what's it called? Not architectural, not archival, archaeological dig sites? Maybe we can find something interesting in the ruins? Probably forbidden magic. Let's be honest here. But still. Did the Romonons leave anything besides the labyrinth behind? Wouldn't surprise me if we came back to this thing if, for whatever reason, we either had to find some lost Romonon technology for some purpose, or if it turned out that someone's using Romonon spells to do evil and we have to stop them. Something like that. More travelers from the service came to visit. Yeah, they had to deal with the deluge of migrants and created a maze. The city of Romonon grew ever more beautiful and prosperous, and its people ever more haughty and exclusive. Right. It's a very well-known phenomenon where you have a group that separates itself from the main part because they are in some way better. They slowly start separating further, right? I don't want to get into politics here, but you can see it among many left-wing parties and organizations, right? Oh, I'm more pure than those in the organization as well. I'm gonna make my own thing of more pure thinking people, and you're now beneath me. Right? It happens a lot in real life, and that's basically what happened here, right? They separated themselves from the general populace, from the mob, and they were happy because they were better. But then they started thinking of, hey, maybe I'm actually better than my neighbor as well, right? Like, he can cast really big fire spell, but I can cast it faster. I'm pretty sure fast casters are better than strong casters, right? It's clear that we're just the superior people as fast casters. It happens like that. It really does. I like it. Those deemed to be without merit were forced to exchange their flesh and blood. Yeah, you're clearly less pure than me, right? Your casting is clearly inferior from mine. We're still cream of the crop, according to our own rules. But, there's no black and white, there's only gray, and you're a little grayer than me, so go away, get turned into gold. Hmm. Very cool idea for a societal collapse, I gotta say. The closed-off Roman society became plagued by malaise. Internal feuding made its people tired and weak. Yep. Instead of being united, they they became divided. And it makes sense because, like, mm, how do I say it best? There's a saying that there's no honor among thieves, right? Like, if you're in the, uh, if you hang around with thieves, then you can't count on them not stealing from you, basically. If someone cheated on their partner to be with you, it's very likely they're gonna cheat on you to be with someone else. If there is a whole group of people who separated themselves from society, chances are they're gonna want to separate themselves from each other and collapse as a result. The fact that uh, people with like minds and negative traits in those like minds get together doesn't mean that those bad traits don't, you know, work against each other, basically. I'm trying to over explain it, and I'm getting myself lost in the sauce. Now, all that remains in the labyrinthine cave and is the labyrinthine cave and the serpent back road within. Equally terrifying. Humans are terrifying creatures. Equally terrifying is how few of us realize what we're capable of. Yeah. I really like this trope that he's kind of talking about myself. I love stories in the genre, if you can call it a genre. Humanity, fuck yeah. If you've read like the Jenkins verse or Chrysalis, uh, what else was there? Bobby verse books, kinda. I'm currently reading Out of Cruel Space. It's mostly like amateur written. Nature of Predators was great. Not like published books, but I love it. It's the basic gist is it's mostly sci-fi. Uh, Humans like discover aliens or aliens discover humans, and it turns out that it's not the aliens who are the weird ones. It's us. Like, we have extra strong acid in our stomachs, like the fucking alien from movie, basically, in comparison. We are constantly doped up on, like, combat enhancers, which is the normal amount of adrenaline coursing through our veins, etc., etc., etc. I really like this reversal of like the common trope of, the aliens being stronger, better, weirder. What if it was not that way? What if the humans were the fucking freaks of nature? Bit of a digression. He said magic exists to make people happy. Its power used to help people and bring color to the world. Right, he said that because he wants that to be true more than as a statement of fact, basically. If you say something you want to be true as a fact, it helps it actually become a fact. In a way. In many ways. This magic might create an unhappy result for our dinner. I truly do. OP, OP, OP. Twisty, but still a single road. Yeah. Can't do any flying. The only gravity here exists on the path itself, and not even on every tile, which is an additional complication. Yeah, water goes where the gravity is. The right answer, the right path. The right something else? No, always sticking to what's right is what I don't want to do. Now, That's a very interesting paradox here that I already mentioned. That if you do something and it works, then it clearly was the right solution. Like, Riche doesn't want to use the right solution to solve this problem, to solve this maze, but by solving it, she proves that her solutions are right. Therefore, she should not be using them. And the only solutions she should be using are the ones that don't work because they are clearly not right. Right? It's a self-defeating kind of way of thinking. The right solution, the right spell. Yeah, like the spell you cast to get to the other side clearly was the right one because it accomplished the desired effect. Now, I guess there could be multiple definitions of the term right. It could be that, the right solution is the one that's been described in a book, and anything else, even though it achieves the same result, is not right, is not correct, is not by the book, which is a good criticism of schooling systems worldwide, pretty much. Or, which is basically my definition, if you got the desired result, you got the right solution. Basically. Maybe a little bit utilitarian way of thinking about what solutions and what spells and uses are right or wrong or incorrect and correct, but it's the one I subscribe to. Always sticking to what's right is what I don't want to do. Yeah, she was heavily criticized for drawing her own spells, told over and over that she should do what her master says. And it seems that her master is. Do we have his name? Coco. I think it's him. Though I'm not like 100% sure. But it's the same kind of curly hair. And he ran very quickly when he noticed who else is around. Right? Seems to me like he might actually have been Reach's former teacher. They're not scribbles. I really like how Rich and what's his actual name? Uni, right? Uini, Uini. I'm gonna call him Uni. How Rich and Uni go through essentially the same thing, but emerge from it in completely different ways. Both Richa and Uni have been told over and over that the spells you're creating are worthless. You should be using the spells that I'm telling you to use. You should be listening to your teacher, etc., etc. And they got two completely different things out of it. Richa grit her teeth and said, "Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna fucking prove you wrong, motherfucker." Meanwhile, Uni got essentially beaten into becoming like a wet dog, right? Like a wet, beaten dog is what he became. I kept repeating myself there. I don't know why. But it's kind of the same. I thought maybe I have some quote for that. I thought for a moment, but no, I don't. But it's basically the same thing when it comes to like real life abuse. Two people who receive the same kind of abuse can emerge from that in two completely different ways. There are people whose one parent or multiple or both parents were alcoholics, for example, and they themselves fall deep into alcoholism. My father was an alcoholic. I'm pretty much completely alcohol free. Like, I will drink a glass of champagne on New Year's, but that's basically it. Right? It's like different people react in different ways and take different things out of their situations. Spent way too much time on that. Let's continue. I don't want this video to be like 2 hours long. I know the way through, but the Murphon won't follow. Right, what's the correct way? What's the correct spell? We should be doing vocalizations, that's what I learned. Which, I mean, if he came to that conclusion himself, then it's his solution. So, you know, it's not... Richa shouldn't immediately react with hostility to that. Okay, he could have like read it in a book or whatever, but it could have been his original solution. He just framed it as, oh yeah, that's the right answer because, I thought of it, I tested it. It clearly works, so it's the right answer. Now I know it's probably not the case, right? They're framing it clearly as something that he found in a book or something, and oh, the book says so, we're going by the book. Meanwhile, Richa is doing her own thing, leading them with ribbons. I'll reach the end of this road using only my own spells. But you can't, that's just not how the world works. And this is a test, so it has right answers. What's happening to Uni in this episode is a lot of... It's pretty clearly a solid deconstruction of his perceived notions. Like, all around. He built a certain worldview. His abuse beat that worldview into him in some way. And now he suddenly sees that, hey, it's not actually that way. It's not actually true. Right? It can work. The thing that everybody, my teacher told me would never work. Shit. I might actually do it. It's a very important part of healing from abuse, from like bad past life, bad childhood, or whatever, especially childhood. Like, it's called our formative years for a reason, right? We form our entire worldview during that time, and then it takes a lot of time to unlearn some of the things that we have learned that clearly turn out to not be true. And yeah, funny how this episode happens, because that was essentially the theme of the session I had with my therapist just this week. Breaking those like preconceived notions. He kept digging like, but why do you think that? But why? But why? And I realized that I don't actually have a reason specifically why I think that I can't do the thing. It just kind of got embedded in my head. I just kind of treat it as the default. And it's essentially what's happening to him, except someone told him in no uncertain terms that there's no reason that you can't do that. Learn from your failures and it becomes knowledge. That's also a very good way to look at everything. Knowledge that fuels future successes. Yeah, success is built on failures. It's beyond you, so I've studied how other people do things instead. And so I came to a situation where I can't really think for myself. And oh yeah, we see her. We do see her. We do see what Coco saw. She really should not be running off. And if she does run off, Qifrey should have learned by now to race after her. Because she's a very tasty morsel for the Brim Hats. And if Qifrey wants to meet the Brim Hats, then he should be tailing Coco like the fucking shadow, especially if she's trying to rush somewhere alone. That is nowhere to be seen. The casting seals only work when we're standing on the stones. Right? That's one way. Transform the stone into a rope and just ride it. Which is, I guess, a variation on what I said they should do. But it seems like Rich's specialty is making solid materials flexible. Like she's making the ribbons probably out of glass. I wouldn't say it's plastic. I don't think they have plastic in this world. They're probably made of glass, except they're flexible. She made them flexible with magic. And the same goes for the stone. She made stone flexible with magic. If there's something you can't do, change the method to something you can. Yep. Very, very wise words. Very wise words. I don't have immediately any examples from my life, or from like life in general, but I was trying to make some piece of software with Rust once, some sort of a parser for some API or something, can't quite recall. I thought, hey, I'm gonna learn Rust and I'm gonna make this cool, useful thing. I couldn't learn Rust because it's fucking gibberish of a language, and I made the thing in C Sharp instead because I know and like C Sharp, and it worked. It's the best example I can give. That's not safe. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but it's a solution. A combination of repetition and replication. And she kind of failed at fully accomplishing her spell, but she's learning. It's hard to draw clean lines under my cloak, so the spell failed quickly. Thus, I must focus on drawing spells without looking at them. Right? Failure leads to learning, learning leads to success. I have to work even harder. I don't have any talent, courage, confidence, aptitude, skill, kill, nothing. You were told that you don't have them. To the point that you started believing it. Yeah, I thought he cast those spells, and that stands contrary to what he's claiming, but no. He just had them prepared ahead of time. I've never been able to draw right when someone else is watching. The thought of their eyes on me makes me start to sweat and tremble, then I mess up the lines. I mean, really, like, no wonder you can draw for shit when you're holding your pen like this. I would not be able to draw for shit if I held my pen like this either. Like, no, it's more like this. Who holds their pen like this? Fuck's sake. That's how you hold a pen. That's how you hold a pen. Kind of like chopsticks. That's how you hold the pen as well. People in Asia had a good idea that, hey, if you hold chopsticks like that, then you're very nimble with them and you can manipulate them easily and move them and shit, and that's how you hold a pen. That's a huge failure on the part of his teacher, by the way, that he didn't teach him to hold the pen properly. Wouldn't surprise me if a big chunk of his issues with making straight lines is because he's holding his pen weirdly. I'm just gonna note down that how do you write it? Ini. There are 2-letter I's in his name. Fuck it again. Uni holding his pen weird makes his spells worse. Maybe. Why is it so hot here? 27 degrees almost, Jesus. And the more people see me panicking, the worse it becomes. Yeah, it's kind of a, not a self-fulfilling prophecy, kind of self-powering fucking spiral of misery. And when you become nervous, when people look at you, and since you're nervous, you're behaving oddly, then more people look at you, then you become more nervous. Yep. I draw all the right answer spells in advance. Yeah, didn't expect the gap in the road. You should have drew a couple of general utility spells as well, like a rope spell, or, I mean, flying, you probably have Sylph Shoes, and you can't really fly inside either, but you know what I'm saying? A couple of simple utility spells. Said you wanted to be yourself, but I wish I could stop being me. Well, question is now, who is you? Hmm? Is you the you with the shell of all sorts of preconceived notions and things that were taught to you and things that you have learned and things that were beaten into you and things that you don't yourself believe but you started to believe in them? Is that you? Or is the you the you inside of that shell? I wish I could be literally anyone else. This test is about whether you can cast spells in front of outsiders without being caught. Yeah. Yeah, he'll never be able to pass. Like, if he had to draw a spell quickly in front of a crowd, it's not that he would reveal that he's drawing a spell, it's that he would completely crumble and not be able to draw that spell at all. If you can concentrate and draw when you're alone, then be alone right now. Yeah. How? Figure it out. You have magic. You can do all sorts of crazy shit with magic. Transmute the stone to become a box. Whatever. Hide inside of the cloak. That also works. Verification. We're talking about trauma and like bad childhood and learning to work against it and like save yourself from it. That's a part of it. They might be laughing. I probably look ridiculous. I must really look stupid. They're looking at me with disappointment and disgust and laughing, and they don't? Holy shit. They really don't. Verification. The way to deal with your fears is to verify them. I'm trying to figure out if the English language has some equivalent to how Polish language describes it. I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. In English, it's just fear, right? As being afraid of something, whether that something is like true or it's something that's like clearly not true. Like, it's fear of being abducted by aliens, and it's the fear of wild dog running right at you, right? Both are fear. In Polish, we actually have two separate words for it. Lęk is fear about things that are kind of, how do I say it? Not probable or not even possible, right? Like fear of being abducted by aliens, fear of, I don't know, me dying right now on the spot, fear of chupacabra getting in through the vents or whatever, right? Those are lęk. It's probably not gonna happen. Strach is fear that actually has some like immediate, reason. There's a loose dog running at you and barking. You're currently in the middle of a car crash. You fell into the water and you don't know how to swim, right? And that kind of helps. Helps separate those two. And a big part of dealing in therapy with bad childhood and stuff like that, and like fears that you have amassed throughout the years, is to verify the length, right? The ones that are not really probable. To get yourself to a situation where you might be feeling that and see that nothing's actually happening, and that fear of yours was completely and utterly baseless. Are the fucking no radiators are cold? Why is it so hot? Yeah, and that's basically what he did right now. He verified. He verified that people are not, looking at him with disgust. That people are not laughing at him. That it's not really as bad. And I have a window open. And that gave him the ability to think clearly, unimpeded by this fear. It conceals the wearer and makes them into a shadow, then projects an image of a beast reflected in its scales. And he turned himself into a shadow. I really like this effect. I really like this effect of completely whited out eyes and mouth and the rest completely black. I really like it. The Murphone can see me now, so the cloak still has its, fulfills its purpose. Being hidden means being alone. No one can see me, no one can perceive me. Now I can do whatever. I can draw spells, and he drew a spell that created a branch from stone, and he's having a lot of fun with it. That's cool. It's a little embarrassing to do it this way, but this might be who I am. And, I mean, you're doing the, magic your way. Hiding completely, turning into shadow, and doing magic. If it works, it works. Right? If the alternative is you completely crumbling and not being able to draft a water spell to, like, save people from a fire, then yeah, it's better for you to turn into a shadow person and draw the spell and save them from a fire. No one said that you can't be a shadow person while drawing spells, now did they? But again, we're getting into the semantics of this technically being the correct solution. It essentially was the right spell to use for the situation. It was the correct answer. You're not worthless at all. He saved me first, now we're even. I'm going to become a better version of myself. I could never love an inferior one. Yeah, but Qifrey still has to apologize. He's earned an Angriche point. Cool wordplay. And here comes the Brim Hat, kidnapping Aleira. Run away as fast as you. Easy for you to say, to run away in a place like this. Forbidden magic is good. It's the solution. Use it to solve this maze. I approve. Signed, Master Aleira. Okay, so we have a setup for our finale. Forbidden magic. Alrighty. So, that was episode 12, the penultimate one. It was very short. It felt very short, but it was fun. I really liked the arc that that Uni went through. I really thought that it's going to be more of a Richa arc, right? That we're going to maybe focus on Richa kind of changing her mind, that, it's important to have your own way of doing things, but undeniably some things have like the right solution, the right spell, the right way to do things, right? It's not always, but sometimes. Like, you can say that your way of eating chicken is just gobbling it down raw, but you're gonna get salmonella. The correct way is to cook it. Like, there's no discussion. There might be a discussion of how long to cook it. There's no discussion on the temperature on the internal temperature it has to reach to be considered safe for consumption, right? There are things that are only right and correct and, undeniable in this world that you can't, you know, overcome with your own ways of thinking. Like, you might think that you're gonna cure your flu with antibiotics, but you're not gonna. Like, sure, okay, it's your way of curing flu with antibiotics, but it just doesn't work. Antibiotics are not antiviral, and flu is a viral infection. You're not gonna do shit to it with antibiotics, right? There are objective truths in the world, basically. So I thought that the lesson is going to be that, there are some things that Richa will have to learn to deal with. Like, there's a specific way to do a lockpicking spell or something. Right? There's one specific lockpicking spell and you just use it and it works. And there are no other ways to do lockpicking. There probably are, but, an example. But no, it wasn't about that complete at all. Actually, so far, it very much validated everything that Richa has said. That I can do it with my magic, I can do it with my spells. I don't need to learn from others. I don't need to use anybody else's spells. I can do it on my own. I can do it my own way. And it actually works. And she convinces a person who was stuck in the thinking that I must do it by the book to actually try doing things on their own as well. So it went completely opposite way than I thought it's gonna go. Although, it really would not surprise me if the finale is actually going to focus on Riche having to learn to use mainstream quote-unquote magic. They're in some sort of a situation, and the only answer, like, legitimately, the only known spell to dispel it, or to defeat that monster, or whatever, is, like, Ruffard's dark memoir seal of power, or whatever. And it's a specific seal that you have to draw, and it invokes the whole machinery, and it does the thing. Wouldn't surprise me if that was the focus of the finale. But I'm curious, especially with the title being Forbidden Magic. Seems there might be a lot of focus on Forbidden Magic, which makes me think, how's that gonna look? How's that gonna look? Forbidden Magic would be very tempting to Richa, wouldn't it? More possibilities, less limitations. No one can tell me to not draw spells on my own skin. No one can tell me to not cast healing spells, right? It would be very tempting to Richa. Very tempting. I wonder. We'll see, I guess. But right now, I'd say that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. If so, say so in the comments down below. No spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord here, also in the description. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future videos, and click the bell, of course. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below. On Patreon, you get access to picture-in-picture versions of every single video I release. And if you don't want to spend any money at all, you don't have to share my content. Spread the word, it costs nothing to do so, and it helps the channel a lot. And right now, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna open a window. Cheers. And here's my wonderful supporters: QB, Jack Witt, AL, Floor Nightingale, Dr. Watt, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to go through that maze, I guess.